And that's why they call it a Serbian film. What's going on, everybody? This is the Cover Band Confidential Podcast, the podcast for cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
If you don't know what that is a reference to, do not Google it.
Don't.
Disturbing films aside, how's it going?
Not bad. Yeah, got a little business trip coming up this week. Minnesota in January.
Ah, the Sunshine State.
No, not really. Cold shine state. It's overcast there. I mean, I went to college there, and so I'm well aware that all through the winter, basically, you don't see the sun, and that's where I'm headed for a few days. So
this semester is when we start doing college tours.
Ooh, okay.
So the Patreon is a great. No, I'm just kidding.
Good job.
No, but one of the places that has been recruiting the eldest is. What is that one in Minnesota? The Beavers. It's in Minneapolis.
U of M?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not Beavers. It's Gophers. Golden Gophers.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, because they have like tunnels at the school.
They do, yes.
Because it's cold out and stuff and whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, you wouldn't want to go. It's like, I wouldn't want to go to Minneapolis?
Minneapolis was super cool.
Well, I was like, do you know what's in Minneapolis? He's like, no. I was like, Paisley Park. Do you know what Paisley Park is? No. It's Prince's house. And he's like, oh. And that's, I hate to do this, but like, that is how my kid talks to me.
You know, you're doing a really, really good Gen Z impression there. It's really, like, on the money.
Yeah. It is, unfortunately, my day-to-day.
Me too.
So, nothing else really going on. Signed a contract this week for a corporate event coming up in a month or so. And prepping for NAMM. We're now T-minus like 2 weeks out. Starts on the 20th, so literally like 2 weeks. I'll be flying out and doing day one, like the press thing. I'm really kind of like trying to figure out my approach here because I've got all this extra time to prep because I'm off work for, the next few weeks and just making sure I get as much out of this trip as possible. Though it's starting to look like some of the companies that were there last year are not coming this year for reasons.
So yeah, and that does coincide with my second business trip of the month, Dallas that time. Mm-hmm. So maybe you'll drop
the
a live one.
Sunshine State.
The Sunshine State. Yeah, the Beehive, the smiley face state, something. Maybe you'll drop a live one from NAMM. Maybe you'll.
Well, yeah, so there's been talk. It's funny. So last time, like, the first rule of NAMM House was no content in NAMM House. But I think at this point, we've all kind of gotten to know each other enough that we're talking about doing, like, podcasting or some sort of, not maybe live, but timely content as a group.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we did last time. So we're kind of mulling it over. But either way, it's I'm looking forward to it. Very excited. Maybe some consistent weather. That would be nice. We're doing that thing where it's like 60 one day and 20 the next. And
yes, welcome to the South.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, let's move into reviews. So, did you know that different podcasting platforms in different countries have different places to look for them?
I did not know that, but if I thought about it, I would have assumed it.
Yeah. So I found some. And it's great because some of the times we're like, nobody's left a review. It's like, turns out they have been leaving reviews. They've just been leaving them all over the world. It was up to us to go and find them.
How cool is that?
That's a fun way to say that. But I want to give a shout out to my man, Timmy Symbols. Timmy Symbols gave us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app UK. And the headline says, Band Leader Solidarity. As a band leader dealing with brides, bass players, and businessmen, gotta know I love it.
So good.
It's great to have a place to hear other people dealing with the same things. Gear talk, strategy, and amazingly helpful opinions and advice. Must listen for everyone in the industry. Big thanks to Tommy Symbols. Timmy Symbols. I thought that was like an American thing. It's like the first name and then something about that person.
Yeah.
Charlie No Shoes.
Jimmy Knuckles.
Well, no, Charlie No Shoes is what we call our next door neighbor's kid because he's always walking out to the bus without a sock, like literally in his socks.
Oh.
But I was like, Chucky No Shoes.
Chucky No.
Anyway.
Yeah. To never play pool with somebody whose first name is a city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a state.
Right.
Alabama Jones or, Pittsburgh.
Minneapolis Pete.
Minneapolis Applebaum the third.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you who may not have been on socials, I was on another podcast. This is like podcast number 3 of this week. Philip, who runs the 40 Watt podcast, a fantastic guitar-focused show, had me on as his guest this past week. And we talked about NAMM House a little bit. We talked about gear. He wanted to know a lot about our world because, it's very interesting. We somewhat operate in the same universe, but we kind of don't. For him, like a lot of that stuff is like aspirational. So, boutique amps and like really bespoke, custom, one-off guitars and stuff where we are very much shortest distance between A and B.
Yes.
Not that there's not like great stuff in that realm, but it's a very different focus. He was like, my favorite thing about the way that you guys operate is that you went home from NAMM excited about things that like I hadn't even thought about. He was like, I remember you were more excited about the video cabs at the at the Rev booth than any of the amps that were out there. I was like, I know. I feel like we get to we have a wider net, so it's a lot of fun. So if you want to go check that out, you can go check out the 40 Watt podcast. We'll put a link in the show notes. There's also a patron-only episode that Philip and I did after that one that you can either sign up for 40 Watts Patreon, or I think they're selling it a la carte. So if you want to throw him a couple of bucks, you can hear us get a bit more granular on the whole content creator at NAMM type experience. And then as a part of that, the NAMM House trip is sponsored by Sweetwater, and we have a giveaway. I already know what they're going to announce, but it is not ready to be told just yet. But it is a thing that I think a lot of folks who listen to the show would be interested in, so stay tuned for more details. Those should be coming up, I would hope, if not before this episode drops, like right after, so should be fairly soon. And that's pretty much it. I think we're ready to get into the meat of this week's conversation. Now, this was a topic that was suggested by John Zaremba, who is a member of the Patreon, and he just sent us a DM on the Slack and was like, I want to know the ins and outs of 2026. Hot or not?
Cool, not cool.
Smash or pass? Cool, not cool. So however you want to to compare those two things, that's what we're going to do. Yep. We're like, let's settle on 10. We couldn't settle on 10, so this is 12 things that we're going to weigh in on.
That we will smash or pass.
Yes. Cool, not cool, hot or not, whatever. But we're going to start off with a banger. Just one of the...
Maybe the banger.
Yeah, the most important question or the most important topic on every musician's mind.
Yep.
Shorts on stage.
Pass.
Okay.
Hard pass. Situationally.
Yeah, so I think there are certain situations where short's okay, but also like what a short is, I feel like can be kind of fluid.
Okay. Because
I know that I used to own pairs of shorts that broke below the knee. Is that really shorts at that point?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think they're out these days. I think we're wearing shorter shorts than that right now.
Are we doing knickerbockers? Is that not?
I think it's and long socks. I play sometimes. I have some pool clubs that I've done shows at, and if you're in jeans, you're the only one, and it's silly. So no.
Yeah. Point. Well, I think a pool or a body of water.
Make sure it's acceptable.
Yeah, in direct proximity to the stage,
like line of sight.
Yep, I think that is that's a window.
Yep.
There are safety reasons.
I've done shows in the 95 to 100 degree range where I just sucked it up and wore my shorts.
Yeah, every drummer gets away with it.
100%. Drummers get a pass.
Drummers get a pass
for sure.
And the other one. So, and this literally happened as I was prepping for the show. My good buddy Mike Squires from Couch Riffs. There was a picture of him on the road this year with Ugly Kid Joe, and he was wearing shorts, and he looked badass. And I was like, okay, it's It's not a hard or fast rule. In my circumstance, one of the things you will never see, it won't go on Patreon even, is I've got busted shins. They're real bad. So if I have shorts on, it's a do or die scenario. Like there was no other option for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I could probably start an OnlyFans where I post pictures of my shins, but it's the reverse. You have to pay me to stop posting or giving them to you.
You think of a lot of topics that would make good money that way.
Yeah. But yeah, my shins specifically are pretty gross.
Okay.
So in my case, almost always no shorts, but maybe shorts when the need arises.
It's dire.
Yeah. But I still like attest to the exceptions. I think those are all fair play.
And there have to be exceptions because there is a rule. The rule is
yes.
no shorts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Agreed. Moving along. Silent stages. In or out?
In.
I agree. I know that it's especially amongst guitar players and drummers, the whole concept of there being no air movement on stage is tough to envision, but I've been doing it for the past 5-6 years. There are just as many benefits
Yes.
as there are detractions, I guess.
Well, and I think all the detractions are really just about learning curve.
Yeah.
I have one possible exception. There is that one detraction that is cymbals.
Yep.
Triggered cymbal effects sound pretty good, sound okay, believable to an audience. But for a drummer, that chunky rubber thing is just not as satisfying as a real cymbal. It feels bad to play. And I sympathize. I empathize. I get it. But it is not worth smashing the mix or bleeding into the vocal mics or any of that. So I'm a big fan of Silent Stage.
Yeah. If you're on the fence about it, I would highly suggest just giving it a go. And it can feel sterile, but like, that's okay. There's a part of me that remembers playing, when I was playing bass, I had an 810 behind me and I could feel what I was playing, just like pushing against me.
Yeah. And it's great. It's great.
It's great. But I don't miss the load in. I don't miss all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I just realized that I've been playing with in-ear monitors for like 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about that, starting on them, at mid-20s, the benefits that I have, I can still hear.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's not a luxury that other of my contemporaries have necessarily.
Quite a few. Yeah. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, does a hybrid drum kit with real live cymbals mic'd, but with shields in front of them, would you count that as a silent stage?
Well, it's technically not silent. It's a low volume stage.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think those two caveats, I don't know. I feel like that's we're playing in semantics.
Parsing it pretty fine. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But even no amps and live drums, that's how a lot of bands operate, and
yes.
I get that. But in our world, I'd say we're probably 70-30 e-drums versus live drums.
Yeah.
And trust me, those gigs where you get to, play the full kit, sounds great, so much fun. The last thing we did, that the Stranger Things block party, Nathan actually brought out a second floor tom so he could really lay it out, because we were doing Separate Ways parentheses Worlds Apart, and that one's got some really, tom heavy stuff,
yes.
and
yes.
it made a big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise we're it's very quiet. It's just like, if we turned all the things off, that's what our gig would sound like.
Yeah, people walking past my storage room where we practice when we're all fully, wired up. Like, it sounds very weird for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and kind of unrelated note, backing tracks. I say they're in, baby.
Yeah, I'm for them. They take a lot of work, but they give you a great big full sound, and yeah, good stuff.
It's all about economics, really. It would be great to have a sax player come out for like 2-3 songs, but I can't justify that, financially.
Right.
Same goes with the, full orchestra behind us for, certain things. It's just not feasible. And it's such an interesting conversation because what seems to have happened, and we were talking about this on the 40 Watt podcast, talking about how we've kind of become the de facto entertainment for most people just because we're the entertainment that people can afford. And a direct result of the standard of entertainment kind of being in our realm, I feel like a lot of the technology that was above us has kind of been pushed down into our market. And so it's this scenario where we're trying to approximate high-end production, as best we can. But that includes playback, and it includes automation. It includes DMX programming and video walls and all of that stuff now.
Yeah.
Before, that was something that you only saw at arena shows, and now we're loading into event spaces and bars with those rigs now. It's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Moving along, next one, iPad on a mic stand for charts or lyrics.
Caveated in.
I'm saying caveated out.
Yeah.
So if you guys remember earlier this year, I did I didn't have an iPad in front of me for a gig, and I really enjoyed it. I have really tried to keep with that. And at this point, with the able set automation, it's kind of I'm cheating, of course, because now we have a browser window that scrolls the lyrics for you, so you don't have to have an iPad or anything. Now, the issue that I have with having a tablet on stage is that that's what I use to adjust my in-ear mix. So there's never going to be a scenario where there are no iPads on stage. I have been trying, when it makes sense or we've got the room, to put it on a separate stand behind me, so it's not there to stare at, basically. And I have enjoyed that kind of layout, that dynamic. Now, there are still gigs where I'm gonna have an iPad, and it's basically for ones where I need charts or I need to adjust my mix. So like live and karaoke, iPad, sorry, it's got to be there. Solo acoustic gig, yeah, same thing. But if I'm trying to just be a vocalist that plays guitar in one of my main bands, I like it not there.
Let me experiment with that. The caveat is you can't get sucked into it. You can't get fixated on it. It will take you out of the game. It will take you out of the room. And that sucks. And that is, I think, what people object to when they're objecting to iPads on stands. Mm-hmm. But having it there as a memory fallback, a memory aid, and not relying on it line by line is a skill you can learn. And I'm pretty good at it. Enough that in the experience of my audience, I believe it pretty much disappears.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting any younger, and my memory's not getting any better. So it's hard to see me. I don't know. And I say that without having tried it. But it is hard to see me getting by without it sometimes. But you can't let it be hypnotic. You can't let it fixate you.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I deal with a bit, because we become so acclimated to it being there that it can sometimes betray you.
True.
At the last holiday gig that Amber did with that group, there were a couple of times where she was off, away from her setup, interacting with the audience, whatever, and she would look back at the iPad with the lyrics, and they weren't on the right line, and she immediately lost it. You've got to have enough autonomy in those moments to ingest bad information and still output good information. Right. But it's tough.
Garbage in, non-garbage out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I attempt to do on basically every day.
For sure.
Not always so good at it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Autotune on live vocals.
If it's obvious, no. But there's lots of ways to use it and have it not be obvious.
Right, unless it being obvious is the thing.
If you're using it as an instrument, that's different.
I say it's in. I have no problem. Listen, I have been a professional singing person for 20 plus years.
Right.
I have autotune on my vocals.
Yeah, me too.
I've done the whole, journey or whatever. I've recorded to tape where there's no room or margin for error, and you just have to do the takes over and over and over again. And then we got Autotune and Melodyne and Flex Pitch in Logic, and something that would normally take 7 to 10 hours now is done in maybe an hour and a half, because you can actually take the good take with the one non-perfect note,
Yep.
and you can just nudge it.
Yep.
And you're actually getting better results from it.
Yes.
So in a live sense, we've re-implemented it and it has worked fine. I have no qualms about it because I've sang without Autotune forever. And if it's a tool that can be transparent but tighten up harmonies on choruses and stuff, why not?
Sure. I actually think using it has improved my singing. When you're using pitch correction and you're not exactly on pitch, but what's coming out of the speaker at you is corrected, you actually feel it. There's like a pulsing you can feel.
Yeah.
And I used to feel that a lot, and I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I think that feedback has helped me tighten up my pitch attack. And,
yeah.
It's just it's a good thing.
Intonation is it's not something like we talk about a lot as vocalists, but it is a thing where you can be within, technically you're in the realm of the right note, but you could be a couple of cents higher, a couple of cents low, and something like maybe not a hard tune, but something with a pretty quick response time can trigger you to it's like, oh, I do kind of need to, I'm a little flat, I'm a little sharp,
Yeah, it's real-time feedback, and it's great.
Every artist that you see playing on stages now is using it. Even the ones that you think are not.
Right.
And if you think I'm lying, coverbandconfidential@gmail.com. I could talk about this all day. All right, moving along. Cover bands that don't change the arrangements. In or out?
Both.
Yes, there's room for both of those.
There is. There are some songs that my own personal feeling is that they are iconic enough you need to do justice to them the way they were recorded. And then I hear covers that really tweak them, and I love them.
Yeah.
So there's a real art to covering a song very precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might not see that as an art, but it really is. That's good stuff. But then also taking it, bending it, making it your own, reinterpreting into your band's arrangement, also an art. And I think both are beautiful. I mix them up in my show. Some things I take big liberties with, and others I have a little reverence for, and I try to do it justice the way it was recorded.
Yeah.
So I think both.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the tribute world. Our aim is to do it as close to the original as we possibly can.
Yep.
And there is an art to it. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard in a different way than building your own arrangement can be. But like even in our situation, we do different versions of particular songs. Like we do the Goldfinger version of 99 Red Balloons. We do the Atari's version of Boys of Summer. And I mean, that's our just regular sensibilities kind of peeking through. Like, here's the stuff that we actually kind of, really dig. But, I have been in groups where we do totally different arrangements of things. In my punk band, we would do punk covers, and that is 100% a really, that's an exercise in utility and what is and isn't canon for a song.
Yes.
When you're playing it double time, it does kind of force you to figure out what needs to stay and what needs to go.
What matters and what doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a thrash version of Hungry Like the Wolf.
Wow.
That was really fun. That was probably like 2 band practices worth of like getting it exactly where we wanted it to be. I love that. I mean, I love a punk cover. We had talked about this in the Slack where it's like, if market demand notwithstanding, what kind of project would you build? And I was like, I'll go first. Punk covers of everything. Yeah. Basically just me first and the gimme gimmes.
Yeah.
But kind of more in the line of maybe the way that the Pork Tornadoes do it. But yeah. Fast, loud.
Fast, loud. Big
Good
banger.
Stuff. So yeah, again, yes, but no, but also yes, unless no.
Right.
Playing a track without telling the audience, go fuck yourself. That's how I feel about that.
They don't care. They don't care. And when they notice they're interested, they want to talk about it later.
And I love that, like the 57-year-old guitar player, on a Facebook group going, I demand that you. I was like, who is this for? Is this for you? Are you coming to my show? No? Then go fuck yourself.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, that one came up and I was like, gone. And Dan's like, no, leave it.
Leave it. We got to say it.
Yeah. So we did. Okay. Next one. This is tricky for me. Sunglasses on stage. Daytime, nighttime, inside, outside.
I couldn't care less. Do what you do.
It's been my entire personality for the past, at least 10 years.
You are shades.
Yes. Except we all are.
Yeah.
It's just an easy way to separate yourself from the audience in a way that makes you look different. And now with the Ray-Ban Meta option, they're not always going to be sunglasses. I got the ones with the transition. So other times I just look like a big dork with these huge frames on, shooting my content. But I think it's fun. I don't think it really matters. I think it's a cool way of, zhuzhing up your look. Do it.
Yeah.
And if anybody makes you feel bad about it, tell them shut up.
Yeah. I've never done it, but I don't know. Maybe I will.
There's an obnoxiousness to it that I really enjoy. Somebody has to walk through the crowd in a pair of sunglasses in like the middle of the night. You're like, what is this guy's problem?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, hell yeah.
I want to be that guy. whatever that guy's problem is, I want it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like whatever's wrong with this guy.
That's right.
All right.
This one's interesting.
Using the same set list every single show. I have thoughts that defend that stance.
So do I. I also have the stories about the problems it causes.
Do tell.
Well, with my last project, the one before my current one, we were playing 2 to 3 times a month, and we were really not getting together aside from that. We were not. We were so busy. We set aside rehearsal, and we just had a pretty big book, so we could make shows different. But at some point, we stopped doing that, or stopped adding tunes or whatever. And we had a bunch of people who came regularly to all our stuff and loved what we did, but at some point I realized we never surprised them.
Yeah.
Even the set pieces that we'd built that were sort of designed to be a little bit theatery and a little bit performative, like I noticed some of the people in the audience kind of talking along with us, like doing the bit with us. Yeah. And enjoying that. But it didn't have what we wanted it to. It didn't have the surprise to it, right?
Yeah.
So the same set list every weekend takes away surprise. And that's hard for a recurring audience. You don't get them coming back for a new thing.
Yeah.
Every time. Fish does a totally different show at every show, and people travel all over the place and go to all of the shows. So that's not going to happen if you're doing the same set list every weekend. The other thing is we got really bored.
Yeah.
And it got really automatic and really rote and really not fun. Mm-hmm. And there was, of course, a global pandemic in there, but I think that hit right around that time, and it kind of felt like the joy was not what it had been, and the drive to get back together when we could again sort of wasn't really there. And so I think it had a real impact on the ethos of that band and the morale of it, and ultimately the survival of it.
Yeah. Counterpoint.
Please.
There are a lot of reasons why doing something like that is a good idea. Now, you illustrate a very good point that I think a lot of our listenership is probably in the situation of, which is you play out regularly. So you're doing bar gigs, club gigs, public events, and you're trying to get repeat customers.
Yes.
And if that is the season that your band is in, then yes, keeping that variety moving and finding ways to make every show unique and it have its own special moment is paramount.
Yes.
Because it will continue to help build your following and all of that.
Yep. But if you're in the season where you're playing, at most this corporate event you do every year, they see you once a year, that urgency is out the window. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about scenarios such as public municipal things where you've basically, for a lot of groups, there is a season of their year where they basically play 2-hour municipal sets for like 3 or 4 months out of the year. And that's their primary type of gig. And in a scenario like that, where you have a very wide group of people there who aren't necessarily there to see you, and you're competing with sometimes national acts, I think that having a power hour set, a 90-minute set, a 2-hour set that has interstitials between songs and specific cues and medleys and tuning breaks where every single second of that show is planned out is also really important. And honestly, a large swath of bands never even get to that point. You kind of live in the first scenario where you have to continue to do that. This is what happens though when you get to a certain level and it's like, okay, well, if we want to jump up to that next tier price-wise, we have to bring a show that warrants that value. And having those kinds of production-y elements planned out and making your show super tight, flawless execution or as close as you can get with added components like video and lighting and all of that stuff, that is going to leave a huge impact.
Yes.
And it's going to get you a certain tier of work. So is one more valuable than the other? It kind of depends.
Depends on your circumstances. Depends where you are.
And honestly, most bands should be doing both at some point. And
Really?
it might be a good idea where like one person's in charge of one thing and somebody else is in charge of the other.
Could be.
So you kind of keep things moving even while you're trying to really lock in a particular, version of what you're doing.
Yep.
I like that one. All right, so these last three are a little behind the curtain, a little insular. This is more about just content creators in the music space type deal. So this is probably something that you have an opinion about as a consumer, but maybe not, from the other side of the coin. So maybe, Dan can...
I can represent consumer, yeah.
Yeah. So first one, gear demos with zero criticism.
Sus.
Sus?
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, have you ever had any gear that you had no negative opinions about? I haven't. Well, my reverend.
Yeah.
But that's rare. It's really rare. And especially something with like a multi-effects pedal or something. There's always something like, gosh, it's really good. A couple of these models I really hate. And if the reviewer never mentions the things I really hate, it casts the whole thing in a suspicious light for me.
Yeah. And so here's the thing is that for some creators, when you're doing these like paid partnerships, they are looking for specific things and you have certain high points that you have to discuss as a part of the agreement. And so it can be tough to go back and say something negative about a product that A, you probably got for free, and then B, they're paying you to generate content for.
A disclosed sponsorship video, I watch that very differently. I watch that like it's a feature roundup.
Right.
I don't watch it like it's a critical review.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't disclose that and is only positive, I don't trust them.
Yeah. I don't want to make it out that any review that you see where they don't have anything negative to say is suspect, that they're lying to you.
Yeah.
That's not always the case. If I'm talking about a particular product, like I do want to point out the good things. And if there are gripes, I'll probably mention them, but if I don't have to, or it's kind of negligible, I'm not going to bring it up. Like a good example of that is the Power Stage review I did.
I was going to mention that. You were very, very positive about that.
There weren't any gripes, really.
I like a reviewer who says, look, I try to be balanced here. This thing's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
That's cool. That solves it for me.
Yeah. So, take anybody's opinion with a grain of salt, really.
Always, sure.
But just because somebody doesn't have anything bad to say about something doesn't necessarily mean they're being dishonest. And then also, I'd say the same thing if somebody is just slagging a product. Don't always sometimes there's other stuff going on in those kind of scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where somebody's got an axe to grind or whatever. So you can come at it from both ways, really. On the same note, I bought this with my own money disclaimer in front of a review video.
I like that.
Okay. I don't hear that and then process the information I'm getting differently.
No, I process differently if I'm disclosed that it's a paid review.
Yeah.
That's when I'm listening differently. I don't think whether you got it for free or are expected to return it or bought it yourself, that doesn't change anything for me.
And it does kind of vary for those of you who don't know how this works. If, depending on the level of creator you are, it's different scenarios. So most of us get our start reviewing things we already have. The reviews that I did with our in-ear setup, and then the wing, and I'm reviewing those things because I want them, and I bought them. But even in the wing review, I don't think I said anything that critical, because I didn't have anything critical to say about it.
Right.
And that I spent thousands of dollars to make that video.
Yeah.
But, with the VX5, that was a thing that I paid my own money for, and I found some issues with it.
Yes.
I mean, in that scenario, there wasn't much I could do. I couldn't cover it up in a way that would make it look good.
Right.
The harmony algorithm on that thing is still a work in progress, we'll just say.
And the new update will come to it because it's supposed to have improved it on the cores.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say? Right now, I can't use the harmony on it, but I didn't plan on using the harmony on it anyway. Right. So for my particular use case, that wasn't a deal breaker. But you can read the comments on that review video. There's a lot of folks who were like, it doesn't do this one thing, and that's the thing that I need it for. It's like, nope, it's not the right product for you.
Yeah, I use the TC Helicon Voice Live harmony when I play acoustic, and extensively. So, I hoped that maybe I could replace that because it's a very old machine at this point. But your review convinced me that I can't. So
yeah, contrast that with trying to think of the the reviews that I've done that where I didn't pay for the thing, the lighting rods that I got from both. That was a loaner situation. They sent them to me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to buy them?" I was like, "I'd like to, but I don't really have a practical use case for them right now." And so I did end up sending them back. And then there's other things where literally a box shows up and then another box shows up and you're like, you've got 7 days to do this, and then we have to have it back. That's a different thing. And then for other companies, it's like, here's an $80 whatever, do with it what you will.
Yeah.
And we do get those every once in a while. It's like, hey, here's this product. We'll send it to you, no questions asked. And if you want to make something about it, that's totally cool. It's basically the way that all of those emails go. But they know that hey, if I talk about stuff I like.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter where it comes from or who makes it. It's just like, hey, this thing fixed a problem that I had, and so I'm going to share it with you guys. So, one way or the other, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Now, this one, I know bothers a lot of people, and I don't love it. YouTube thumbnail faces for people making, any content, but primarily, guitar review content. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you just want to take the background that I have and remove it, and it's just, pictures of me going, or trying to fit my entire fist in my mouth or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I hear people complain about it all the time.
Yeah. But the clicks happen. That kind of may be the problem with our whole world right now.
Yes.
Is
the things that you hate are the things that work.
The awful stuff works. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way that you put it better than... Yeah, that's a way better way of putting that. So listen, when you guys stop clicking on them, then people will stop making them.
Right.
So do with that what you will. Can you think of anything else? Any other topics that we didn't hit that are hot button situations?
I think we covered them. All of the holy wars that happened over at that great big Facebook group. I think we've talked about each one of them.
Maybe if we're lucky, one of these clips will get cross-posted to that, and they can just
melt down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, folks.
All of it. Trolling that group is
it can be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But if there are any topics that you think that we missed, let us know about it. Coverbandconfidential@gmail.com or coverbandconfidential@gmail.com.
Either way.
You get it. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here we go.
We've solved all the problems.
Only to create new ones.
There was literally only one of those where we all had a definitive yes or no. Everything else is kind of maybe. Oh. Except for, what was it, number 7? Yeah, it's number 7. We were all in agreement there.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we're off to a great start. It's 2026.
Yeah.
It happened. Not sure why, but here we are.
We made it to here.
Yes. And we got a couple of cool things coming up, including gear giveaways. So, you know, we'll cling to the things that are pretty cool and maybe not think about everything else. If you'd like to support the show, you can do a number of things, but I'll go ahead and call it for this week. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
You have been listening to the Cover Band Confidential podcast for the week of January 9th. 2026.